All right, good morning. Let's begin. So we collect ourselves, we remember, we breathe, we sense. There just might be a way of perceiving that's based in the body, that's based in the heart, that allows this bodily wisdom to be known. We're going off that premise, so and so what happens if we approach the body as if it is a temple of great wisdom? That which contains the past, the present, even our visions and future. What happens when our practice moments are that nexus between all the thens and all the nows? What if we were breathing not just into our 40 or 50 or 60 or 70-year-old body, but also our 5-year-old body, our 1-year-old body, our embryonic body, our 12-year-old body? So, how does this practice become a tender embrace for all that we were, for all that we are? This isn't a cognitive puzzle, but rather kind of my perception of how bendy things get when we start to enter deeply into the heart. And that's our pranayama. It's that breath that can be with that 2-year-old, that can be with that 20-year-old, that can be with our 70-year-old self. Yeah, it starts to open up, right? Thank you. Thank you. We'll cross the legs right over left. I choose knee pile. You can choose cross-legged. You can choose Any other variation of right over left? Inhale, reach arms out, spreading the palms, reaching out through the fingertips, all of the digit joints. And then exhaling, we'll go left over right, left over right. And we're drawing the shoulders down, the blades down. You may feel for breathing into the back of heart. The heart is this great nexus, collective and individual, this great nexus of past and present, this great nexus of unconscious and conscious. So we can't let this great place go unacknowledged. And then we unwind. Inhale, draw the arms out once more. And you can position the palms any old way you like. I'm going to make just little circles. I'm just inviting some motion through the synovial fluid. The thumbs, I'm just making little circles. The index fingers, the middle finger, I'm just making little like $50 size circles. The ring finger, the littlest finger, and a little faster. We have a lot of active hand in our practice, which can sometimes, if over enacted, start to rigidify or just halt some of the motions around where there's synovial fluid. And so I'm going to move the wrists kind of circular. I'll feel this in the elbows also. There you go. Sometimes I like to do those rotations, those corkscrewing rotations. This is just another road up the mountain. And connect to deep breath. I'm going as smooth and as lightly as possible. Okay, I'm going to go the other direction. There's not a wrong way. You'll start to find that smoothest, least resistive path. There you go. And release. Let's unwind the legs. And we'll switch sides. So I'm left over right. Eagle. Inhale, reach the arms out. So this time I'm reaching out instead of stiffening or poker fingers out, just feeling that synovial. To me, there's a kind of a bubbly stream quality to that synovial fluid. I'm right over left. Eagle, right arm over left. And so as a study, that's what I'm interested in today. Might get a little tangential, but that synovial fluid. Not only is it lubricant of the joints, it's really part of our perception. The joints are a major major constituent of our spatial perception. And I take this to heart. A couple of my mentor coaches and friends have said, you're as old as your joints feel. So to me, that means take care of the joints. So even the act of breathing deeply, I can start to feel into the rib joints. Rib joints are at the spine, and rib joints are at the sternum. And we know this synovial fluid can start to move and wash through the capsules, the little movement and perceptual nexus points in the body when they're compressed, when pressure is alleviated. So the ways we compress and expand have a lot to do with our perception of where we are in space. Inhale, let's unwind the arms. When we take the arms out in front of us, we're going to go with the elbows. So the last time, we're just moving the fingers in circles, and I'm going to figure out how to move the elbows in circles. And if you end up creating some new dance move, power to us. And as the elbows move in circles, you can feel the shoulders. And it's not so much the circles, it's the fluid. It's just that we're spiralic in nature, where our structure is so spiralically informed. Right? Fluids, spirals. All right, that is plenty of bubbly shouldered synovial fluid. Let's unwind the legs. I know it's silly. I love silly, but feel just those little bits of motion through the fingers, the elbows, the shoulders. Is there a mood correlation for you? For me, there's a very potent correlation between how my joints move and how I feel in my body, right? So let's lie on our back, and we'll be working elbow to knee. I think if my synovial fluid made a sound, I think it would have a very giggly, bubbly quality. That's just kind of my sense of my body, but I would invite you to explore or meditate on the qualities of your synovial fluid. All right, inhale, float the head and the shoulder blades off the ground. And we can do this with respect to all of that joint fluid in the spine. Curl tailbone, exhaling, reach the left leg straight up toward the sky. Roll the thigh bone inwardly. And as you pulse up through that left heel, I'm just kind of pulsing and releasing. I'm feeling that little elastic kind of reach and draw back. And pull low belly down. Okay, inhale, bend that left knee. Curl tailbone, and now exhale, the right leg reach up. So I reach up through the heel, I roll the thigh bone inwardly. Inwardly, the toes will turn in. I gotta pulse up a few times, pulling the low belly down. Okay, so now as we continue, inhale, bend the right knee. And if you're a little ahead or a little behind my call, that's great. Curl tailbone, exhale, left leg up, heel toward sky, toes toward belly. Roll the thigh bone inwardly. And as I reach, I'm feeling just that little, little pocket, that fluidic pocket through the ankle bones, the knee joint. Pull low belly down. Inhale, bend left knee. Curl tailbone, exhale the right heel toward the sky. Roll the thigh bone inwardly. As you pulse up through the leg, feel for the joint areas, the knee, the hip socket. And you may feel this pulsing reverberate down to the sacral joints. Pull low belly down. All right, inhale, bend right knee. Let's continue because my pace might not be the right pace for you. And just one at a time, breath by breath, reaching a leg up, kind of spinning it, rotating it inwardly, and just pulsing. It's just a little pulse through the heel bone. And those little pulsing motions, how can that pulsing motion kind of stimulate and awaken, help us awaken to our sense of the fluidic body pertaining particularly to the joints, so the areas between the bones. Feel the bones, feel between the bones. Follow the bony landmarks, and then discover that space right in between the bony landmarks, under the patella, between the heel bone and all those little bunches of ankle bones. So just awakening to the sense of there being a fluid, synovial fluid, a perceptual fluid. I find my sensitivity for this fluid is greatest when I'm least stiff or rigid. So my reaches, when they're soft, when they're smooth, when they're spiral-like, is where I could start to feel those tides, those interosteal tides between the bone currents. Now finish up the side that you're on, and we'll just do one more. So again, instead of using like a poker stiff leg, it's kind of a softness to the reach, spiraling in, a rotating in of the bone. All right. That's plenty. Let's turn onto his side, pressing up for Dolphin. I'm glad we're all here this morning. Thanks for being here. All right. So we've done a few things for those joints, kind of waking up fingertip to shoulder, hip socket to ankle joints. Inhale. Feel those rib bones moving in conjunction with those rib bones. Exhale the knees off the ground. This is Dolphin. And so just finding out if we can attune to that joint fluid. And so I just want to make a careful distinction here, which is we hold poses, right? But how we hold the poses can help us discover these substrates. Why do I want to know the synovial fluid? Why do I want to know this substrate of fluid between the bones? Because there's a great and a particular intelligence. It's not an inert fluid. Nothing here in this exquisite body is an inert anything. All these gradations of life and its correlative motions and expression. And so you can press and be in Dolphin in a way where you can feel that the breathingness of that synovial fluid. You can explore the qualities that your fluid express in your joints. Let's take the left foot and smoothly elevate it, lifting it off the ground. We'll set that left foot down and exchange. Part of my intent and my observation is that when we employ some of these techniques of maintaining relative stillness in a pose or holding a pose, when we use techniques like active hand, active foot, some of my observation is that perhaps some of how we interpret that stultifies this fluidic movement in the body. Okay. And we'll set that right foot down. We'll set the knees down and take a rest. Slide the hands under the shoulders and we'll press back, downward dog. And in downward dog for a few breaths, start to lightly empty. So I'm using a bit of that Uddiyana, not hard, just very soft, drawing in the belly, feeling the diaphragm relax up toward the sternum. The ribs draw down away from the armpits. Inhale, step the left foot forward, warrior one. So with warrior one, we'll draw the arms up, our hips more or less facing forward. And exhaling, just a light shift down, tip of tailbone, just suggests downward motion. And can you feel the brain, the fluid around the brain, the skull? Does it get dragged down toward the spine, toward the bottom of the skull, or Is there more float? Is there more of that fluidic float in the brain? Easy twisting warrior. Inhale, take the right hand down to the ground. You could use a block, keeping that left arm drawn up. Exhaling, move both shoulders away from the neck, pressing. Okay. Now, how do I reach? Again, I can reach really intensely, and it might have a stultifying effect in the joint area. Feel kind of a stiffening down of motion, or I can reach in a way that helps me feel that again, to me, it's my synovial fluid, when I kind of sense into it, has kind of a bubbling stream quality. There's just kind of this, there's a little bit of a playground feel, like a little bit giggly, a little bit hee, woo. Right. And I'm vocalizing it. I don't giggle in all of my poses. Inhale, bring that left hand down to the ground. Exhaling, chaturanga. Step that left foot back. And we'll draw our, lower chest to ground. Cobra, inhale. As the tailbone slightly shifts, the mouth, the head, the heart elevate, hands help. Exhaling, lower, downward dog. Warrior one, inhale, right foot forward. Drawing the arms up. Okay, now right here in downward, we're in warrior. Just as a little reminder, I can make just a $50 size circle with my thumb and my index and middle and ring and littlest finger, just as a visceral reminder. I can feel all of those joint spaces and the fluid quality therein. I can track it into the elbows and track it into the shoulder joints. Easy twisting warrior. Inhale, I'll take that left hand down to the ground. Leave the right arm raised. Exhaling out, reach. As you open through the chest. There you go. On the right shoulder, Brett, feel. Yeah, and how's the breath connect to the fluid, the shoulder fluid therein? Good, so we're getting to the neck fluid, and I keep working down into the shoulder fluid. Inhaling, bring that hand down. Looks like a right hand. Exhale, chaturanga. Full step back, lowering down. Inhale, cobra. Exhaling, lower, downward dog. Pressing, feeling that fluid in the elbow. To me, there's a round quality. Like, again, this is all very editorial. These are kind of my perceptions. I can only, just share my perception. And inhale, we'll step the right foot forward once again. Oops, was this the side we were just on? Warrior one. So emu, we're setting up emu, hooking the left elbow over the right elbow, linking the hands, hinging inside that right thigh. So like in the culinary, in the food world, a lot of the critics like to kind of remark on the feeling a food or a drink has in the mouth. And to me, synovial fluid has a kind of a round and a warm, a round mouth feel. It's kind of a roundness and a softness about it. All right, inhaling, unwind. We'll set the hands under the shoulders, and when we step back, lower down, and belly down, we're going to do a little Cobra variation. So this will be very tiny at first. So I want to just play with the mouth leading the Cobra. I'm not going to use really any hands or muscles. So inhaling, my mouth is going to kind of move me toward Cobra. Exhaling, downward dog. Inhale, step the left foot forward into warrior one, emu. So we're hooking the right elbow over the left elbow, hinging to the inside of the left thigh. And release. Inhale and wind, setting hands under shoulders. Exhaling, we'll step back, lowering down. This time, our Cobra variation, mouth and hands. So inhaling, I'm leading with the mouth, assisting with the hands. Exhaling, lower, downward dog. Now when I play with that simple little move, kind of a mouth-led Cobra or a mouth-led upward dog, I feel a tremendous tensional difference through the jaw all the way down the digestive tract. So if that front of body digestive tract area is something you want to explore, you might try a few more of those mouth-led scenarios. All right. Inhale, step the right foot forward, twisting warrior. I exhale the left elbow over the right thigh. The left hand can make a fist, and the right hand can press against it. Again, if I twist so extremely, if I tighten and torsion the spine so verily, I'll start to lose my read on that synovial fluid. So you might have to play with that right amount. Whereas we connect to breath, we can still feel the organs, the ribs expanding, the ribs, joints in the spine, it's gliding, moving, articulating. And then some of you, especially really athletic folks, feel that right ankle, those ankle joints, the heel underneath the shin bone, right around those ankles. Just feel if the foot is kind of like stuck in sand, or if there's a synovial quality in the right foot that's pressing down so firmly. So you might have to kind of unstick a little bit. There you go. That's it, Tara. And you find that little cushion, that little breathing synovial. There you go, Brad. It's starting to. There you go. Yeah, there's a different ground play for sure. Okay. All right, we're moving into interlock. You're welcome to set the knee down. Exhaling, we'll slide that left armpit down. Now you can go as gradually as you care to. So today I might just leave the hands unlaced. Okay. Now if you feel good to press the knee up, you certainly may. You may take that right hand behind the back. Just as we do, you're kind of implicating these shoulder joints, these elbow joints, these wrist joints. Can I move in there feeling that synovial fluid? Yeah. You may find it's a much softer entry. And release. Inhale, we unwind, hands under shoulders. Exhaling, chaturanga. All right, inhale, upward dog or cobra. Again, you can play with using your mouth to feel the digestive tract. Exhaling, downward dog. I also get a sense when I play with that mouth-led cobra that there's a totally different articulation around my jaw joint. It's as if the skull kind of lifts up away from my jaw joint. It's a very different spinal movement. Inhale your left foot forward, twisting warrior. Exhaling the right elbow over the left thigh. And just keep checking in our quest to use these active foot techniques. Just find out if the activity has blotted out what we're here to feel, and that's the intelligence, the moving intelligence therein, inside the foot. And one of those intelligences is the synovial fluid intelligence. There you go, yeah. Exactly, you might feel like you're almost starting to sway a little bit, that's okay. Here you go. And just so you know, Meg, we've got our left leg forward and our right elbow on our left leg. Yeah, so we're twisting over the thigh. Okay, now moving into, well, we're moving with our synovial fluid leading us into twisting warrior interlock. You're welcome to set the knee down. I'm going to start just by sliding the armpit down and ensuring I can still feel my ribs and those vertebral joints breathing. And start to reach that left hand behind the back. Another quality that I pick up in my synovial fluid is a quality of like resilience and depletedness. There can be a real flatness or like a brittle flatness when I don't feel my most resilient. Release. Inhale, we unwind, hands under shoulders. Exhale, chaturanga. We step back and lower. Inhale, coming up, your pleasure. You can use the mouth, you can use the hands. Cobra or upward dog. I think it's really interesting putting that jaw joint back in it. Exhaling, downward dog. All right, inhale the right foot forward. We're setting up for extended warrior variation. And if you have a block, just set it out in front of that foot. Extended warrior variation, right forearm on the thigh, left hand. And I'm going to just take a few practice rounds because I'm playing with moving with regard, with feeling regard for the synovial fluid of the shoulder, the collar, the AC joint, the elbows, the wrists. That actually takes me into a very different place in the pose. That left hand that grasps all that finger joint in there. And I just feel if you kind of tightening down on the finger joints, or if there's some current, some sensitivity, some current, continuous feeling through the joints, the finger joints. Okay. Now you're welcome to maintain this clasp as we move into half moon. Reach with the right hand down for the ground or the block. Inhale, left heel, hip height. Exhaling, reaching back. Okay, and just because I'm interested in the fluid, I'm actually going to just create little dime-sized circles with my big toe, with my, what are those foot bones? right? And just feeling how the heel bone relates to the shin bone. Knowing that all of that reflects and refracts through the knee joint. And release. Inhale, we'll set that left foot down smoothly, softly, setting up for pigeon. We'll place the left knee down. We'll walk the right leg to the ground. And even as I'm using my hands on the ground, I'm still feeling that play in the elbows. I'm not letting those joints kind of flatten out, like just keeping a connection, a felt connection with that very particular fluid. And inhale, walk the hands under the shoulders. Exhale, downward dog. And so a few of us, I kind of got the sense that in those warrior poses, some of us could feel for lightening up, decompressing the ankle. Check it out here. I find that when my ankle moves, my toe joints move. There's that synovial current in the foot. My calf, my knee, my hip, they're like different creatures. Cool. And we'll trade to the other side. Inhale the left foot forward, extended warrior variation. I'm putting a block at the top of that mat. Okay. So I'm getting my right arm behind my back, but I'm also taking some practice swings, so to speak. It's like, how do I move that arm behind the back in a way that's informed by the synovial fluid in my spine and my hips, of course, my shoulder. And some of you who are swimmers will get this really easily. You just kind of living in that feeling. Yeah, that's a good point. Swimming has a really great, there's such great assistance there in feeling this fluid. So I'm really feeling that wavering moment-to-moment recalibration. When these fluids are motioning, there's no rigid certainties, right? The whole body is kind of in flux. And it really is moment-to-moment calibration. Okay, here's this half moon. You're welcome to release or keep that right hand. Left hand reaches for the ground, right heel elevates to hip height. All right, and these are states of body that we knew very, very well in infancy and childhood, right? This kind of gelatinous, mobile, right? Lots of options, lots of movement options as we're figuring out what we can accomplish, right? Riding a bicycle and stacking things. Climbing trees. All right, pigeon, inhale, set that right foot smoothly down. Set the right knee down, and we'll walk the left leg down. Pigeon. And then here's that kind of sly little secret room that I found. That Sinovial intelligence that's so clearly and online as we're learning and developing infancy, childhood. There's not a lot of defense systems firmly in place yet, right? You don't have these well-rehearsed repertoire of defenses. So I find that to discover the Sinovial intelligence can often be a very slick, sly way of sliding behind the defense posturing. So I can get to the mind of that fluid discovery, enchanted self before those layers of defense start to layer on. Inhale, let's walk the hands under the shoulders. Exhale, downward dog. Let's set the knees down. And when we lie back for Shavasana, I want to just pick up a little bit where we had left off on Sunday. So find a rest position. And I'd mentioned just kind of phases of this metta loving kindness that we might find ourselves moving through. And the first time we did it this week, we did it toward ourselves. Today, towards a benefactor. So I want you to just imagine someone who has been a great teacher to you, a mentor, a benefactor. But it's someone that you respect. And toward them, we offer these internalized words. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you live with ease of well-being. May you be free from suffering. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you live with ease of well-being. May you be free from suffering. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you live with ease of well-being. May you be free from suffering. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you live with ease of well-being. May you be free from suffering. When you're ready, bend knees. Turn to a side. And press to seated. Namaste.